Hello, digital marketing lovers. Thank you for visiting my channel to discover a practical sharing how to create a digital marketing campaign. Digital marketing plays in the diversity of the business industry. The designation is tailored based on the strategic organization chart that drives the success of the business strategy. Depending on each industry, the role of digital marketer is either independent or under-managed by other departments. That leads to the different scope of work for the position of digital marketer in a particular industry. Sometimes a title digital marketer is specified with planning and implementing paid media on Google, Facebook, ad network, format. Some organizations demand digital marketers to manage a website, an application, and run advertising to drive traffic, downloads, or product orders. The other aspects of digital marketer is to support and deliver creative materials as well as ideas of brand marketers, public relations specialists, and so on. The unconnected practical experience based on these scenarios causes a lot of misconceptions about digital marketing and so challenges the next generation's mindset on the industry. So, if these mentioned activities are not enough in digital marketing, what else can they do more? And if digital marketing is an independent department, how do they create a strategy, a campaign that matters business? Today, I would like to share my understanding of a series of actions and steps to make a digital marketing campaign based on a very practical exercise. Let's warm up by business context, economic key resource indicators, and define business challenges before moving forward to thinking of solutions. In this practice, I would like to take Netflix as an example. It's an example, so all scenarios, metrics, budgets, and orders are illustrated with a purpose of practical training, not for commercial mimics or claims. As you may know that Netflix is the world's leading internet entertainment service, a dominated international OTT platform. In business context, they are expanding their market to Asia with a high focus on Vietnam, an emerging and dynamic country. They set a high ambition target to the subscription model, the revenue stream that they aim to win in the market, disrupting traditional business in the same industry. Meeting is a daily word in the office. In every new product launching or a hard sales campaign, meetings can be smashed into small pieces. To make a common understanding in a strategy, a company offers an early stage meeting with many internal stakeholders involved. CEO and board of management are sharing their top-line strategies to get input from the other stakeholders. Normally, we leave the room with tons of data and information carried alongside. However, KPIs and top-line strategies should be marked down as bullet points to keep stocked in mind. Below is an example of economic metrics that Netflix guarantees with their investors and ambitiously achieved in 2020. As an OTT business platform, cost per acquisition for a customer is essential. To evaluate the benefits of a customer they bring to the business, We calculate lifetime value because the subscription is a main business model. The rate of people canceling subscriptions or leaving Netflix for other alternatives is also a main metric that needs to be optimized. Now, your turn. Run away or keep exploring how to create a digital marketing campaign to achieve this target. Now, you are in the first touch of making a digital plan. For any requirement to find solutions, we should define a challenge. The true and correct challenge matters than out of focus challenges. At this step, we use multiple sources and partners to gather data, meaning customer profiles, customer voice, customer behaviors, competition landscapes, market shares, mind shares, politics, direct and indirect impacts, future trends, technology supports, and so on. I will specify on another training video for competition analysis and strategy. So below are some examples of mentoring challenges that need to be focused. You think of ambitious economic metrics and wonder if it can be achieved. As a digital marketer, you should self-validate these numbers by research and analysis. Below is some key data that matter in your strategy shortly. In general, we know the possible target users in 2020 ideally will be 8.8 million users. The online referable video format is short-form, while your services defined long-length videos are mainstream to deliver. In general, both short-form and long-form video format, people spend average more than 3 hours and 30 minutes besides other activities online. Now, you look at the benchmark of the subscription model in Vietnam and you realize that there are only 2% for the rate of purchase. From the uncertainty when you looked at the economic metrics. So now, how do you think until now? Your uncertain level is going down, and you are now a bit confident with these data to redefine what you can do with these brief business metrics. Here is a funnel describing the full journey of a business with its customers. First, a product or a service should be enough aware of. Then, the business should make a customer desire or interest in their services. Then, installed paid subscription, and finally how to make the leaving rate or churn rate as low as possible. Or we might understand how to keep them from purchasing Netflix service in next month. In your research and analysis work, you might see only 45% of targets who are aware of Netflix service desire much in exploring Netflix. Then dropping 35% of targets who are not installing Netflix in their devices because of subjective factors such as content diversity, purchase forecast can be altered with other free service providers, and so on. By that understanding, We do a scaling up work to optimize the dropping range as you are seeing on the right side. After modifying the range in each stage of the funnel, we can map to the specific numbers of on business brief, starting from the bottom to the top or conversely. Example, your target is 2 million subscriptions throughout 2020. By that number, according to an estimate achievable rate from subscription to the first month bought and installed, we need to acquire 5 million installs in our campaigns throughout the year. Finally, we calculate the reach-in target should be 10 million unique target users. These steps are basic exercises to help you logically think of smaller steps adding in each calculation, such as frequency rate, leave-in rate, negative rate, and so on. Now you are confident enough to redefine metrics and request a meeting with your line manager, board of management, and CEO or other stakeholders to align the metrics before proceeding to strategize your digital marketing campaigns. This executive summary helps us to stick our concentration in each mattering point. In the meeting, digital marketers should highlight metrics and budget in line, then ask for inputs and other connected opportunities with other departments such as product management, customer services, sales, and so on. Congratulations, you have finished a warm-up stage. This stage helps you to prepare strong fundamentals to build up a plan. It's critical to understand and clarify on what we should care and where we should go before we start the first steps to run. You are now heading up to work on a digital marketing campaign. Previously, you visualized your business context, your competition, your opportunity, and your key metrics to focus. Now, it's time to understand your target audience, how to build an audience personas, why it's critical to be perfect before planning anything ahead. Okay, let's explore together. Target audience, customer portrait. I believe the marketing norm sounds familiar to anyone who tries sales and marketing in education and in solid working experience. We search for guidelines, tips, and techniques to define the target audience, understanding them and love them naturally. By enabling digital marketers to precisely reach to tell a story, then convert to a commercial benefit. Audience segmentation is essential to drive big motivations, bridging the gap between business and its audience. In a world of hyper-connected and hyper-competitive environments, customers' data is variable collected and stored in different digital platforms and channels. It can be complicated to pick a source of data from an existing campaign to adapt to other campaigns that are totally different in regards to strategy from the corrected ones. There have been thousands of ways to make an audience portrait to find insights and relevant triggers to utilize. The better to start to find the new business customers or potential service. We should based on our most strength of first-party data. meaning of internal data, then combine and map out with other sources of data, such as publishers, partners' data, social media data, and so on. Data collection is the first step to affect hugely all of your data process. The sources of data matter seriously and they should be selective and attentive. After collecting data, we start making data preparation steps to make sure data is interpreted in the same language and numbers into of data and make sure that the data are coherent to each other. In the stage of data understanding, we do many experiments on data and survey to put a customer into different scenarios of business, life, work, and other thematic topics to predict the behaviors, interests, and their reactions on our business. We create primary and secondary portraits. Primary portrait is the key audience segment that we spend most of the time studying and efforts to convert. Primary customer portrait is collected preferably on your CRM system. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. This is a group of consumers who have done in purchasing and sales engagement. These are among the most valuable audience that are highly familiar with Netflix services, which draws large effectiveness on establishing the conversation from the beginning to the end, with less efforts to convert. From the CRM system, we pick up a typical customer to do study tasks, focus group chatting, personal meetings, and private conversations. The outcomes of in-depth conversations is to find actionable insights, which can help us to have better, stronger bonding communications when we approach them. We understand how they see, think, feel, and take action. We try to stand on their side to empathy with their burdens and encourage their hope in the future. I already worked with many stakeholders across levels in different industries. The theory of understanding the target audience is not a big deal. However, in practice, many strategists, marketing makers, are still on the road of defining their target audience, although they already did a lot of campaigns without understanding who they are talking to. Ridiculously, they even don't equip audience portraits in their strategy work. So, please always take care of the customer portrait in any work that you hold accountable for. For the secondary portrait, you should bear in mind to think of similar strengths and personalities that can be a half mimic to generate your secondary audience profile. In this segment, you should pay much attention to the barriers that roughly challenge you to convert them to your customers. Normally, the secondary portrait is diversified based on the way that we define it. In this practice, I recommend secondary audience are those who are close to your main audience and release high signals to be converted into the primary segment. In the next six slides, I will show you examples of primary audience and secondary audience by laying them out at basic levels to enable you easily capture the way of thinking when approaching audience portrait. In an overview, we should state clearly a specific audience, including name, gender, location, personalities, income, what he likes, what he hates the most. The more you describe your audience, the more you have better understanding about his background. Now, we come to some points of Ang, an urban engineer guy. Ang has not many friends to hang out with. He likes staying at home to watch movies, but he feels that he watches punches on social media and he needs a good platform to watch latest updated cinema movies. He is unhappy to go to cinema because he has fewer friends to have the same movie taste with. He likes to stay at home to watch movies on his iPhone as well as his smart TV. The main reason he likes staying at home is that he likes to be freedom with no office, no tons of advertisements before movies, ability to have his favorite snack, and he can go to the toilet anytime he wants. His pain point is that he cannot always stay at home to watch spammy movies on social media or illegal videos on the other websites. He cannot watch his cinematic movies that are on trend without going to cinema. As a digital marketer, now you really stand on his side. So how do you wish Netflix can offer? Yes, recommending to him how to make a cinema atmosphere at home with tailored contents based on his favorites during the time he used Netflix. Netflix can offer special hours to Ang to enjoy premiere movies that still in limited across the globe. A to-do list is your task to help Ang gain on what is he wants and what Netflix can offer to Ang. We cross-check Ang and those who are in Ang's versions by using market research, Facebook audience insights, and other digital tools to estimate how many Angs. For example, there are around 3.5 million Angs across Vietnam. Now we are in Ang's world to understand how Ang sees, what Ang thinks, what he feels, and how he does. In early saying, I emphasized that we should stay with our audience closely, live in their world, and talk friendly and gently to them. Walk on their walks. Don't fill out the framework with your assumptions. Your assumptions are better for your word, not his word. And sees Netflix advertisements on YouTube, and he does not like it. And hears his friends and his connections posted on social media about their nightlife activities in which Netflix is mentioned. And gets bored at home and thinks of Netflix and searches Netflix to see how Netflix works and how the community ranks it. Now, what does Anne think? Netflix is such Amazon Prime Video, HD Vimeo, Vivo, but Netflix is quite focused on the latest updated movies that at the same time show at cinema. And thinks Netflix is international standard because of its origin and its image, and feels interested in the services and curious how to watch premium content on the platform. Because Ang works on computer science, he knows in data privacy and security and worries a bit how his information is stored and secured. After checking with connections about Netflix, he is more confident to have his first trial because Netflix is flexible to cancel his subscription anytime. Now, how does Anne do? Anne returns on App Store to search Netflix and download it. During the downloading time, Anne reads through the review one more time. Finally, Anne installed it and enjoyed the premium offers. This is a full journey of Netflix and Anne for their relationship, beginning with impressions that gain attention to Anne. The image of Netflix in the awareness stage should be international, professional, and trustworthy because brand image is very important in the first appearance. Make sure its brand association is consistent with the brand guidelines and brand's personalities, such as trustworthy image should be displayed on a mainstream website. The size of the brand, the brand mood and tone are in line with the influencer's image. International image should be in partnership with the Qatar Airways, Emirates, and so on to attach the cross-border and the premium standard. For on, meaning that the context of the brand's appearance has to be very consistent from guidelines to the real actions. In the stage desire or engagement, Netflix and Ant shared each other with the small parts of offers via search, word of mouth, shared accounts, and community sentiments. After engaging a part of service, and does an evaluation task by considering his leisure schedule, tries to cross-check negative impacts if he uses Netflix and alternatives that can be replaced in further, and feels trust and confident enough to use Netflix in the purchase stage, paying it right on the apps or website. He also shares his package with others to save it. During the usage, Ang's experience is the most important that Netflix needs to pay attention to. Look back on previous pain points and really needs a cinematic atmosphere with latest updated contents. Netflix should do a survey and cross-check with Ang to see how he feels and what should be improved to meet his expectations and starts engaging with Netflix fanpage to share sentiments or to share his feedback. In the stage of encouraging and to keep purchasing in the next month, Netflix engaged with Ang with social media, application notification, and provided more triggering offers directly on the platform, such as in partnership with the KFC's fried chicken to have the free packages during the movie time for Ang. I have completed a basic understanding of a primary portrait. We are heading to the secondary portrait and you will see the shared comments between two segments. A smart girl named I, who is in a relationship with an artful thinking guy. I is addicted to going online to shop products. that are very hard to find at her place or her surrounding areas. I is very active on social media, especially I loves Instagram and stories format. I's pain point is that she doesn't like to purchase entertainment content, while she thinks it is unnecessary to be in her daily schedule. But she also wants to try premium content if it's offered free and someone gives her a favor of watching it. With Netflix now, I's going to be offered premium content to watch, meaning I should spare her time to watch as many favorite movies as possible because she has due time for it. I gains from Netflix image attachment with her lifestyle and good movies during boring time at home with their boyfriend and friends standby. Netflix can ask Ice for keeping her continuous premium package if Ice gains more customers for Netflix based on the model peer-to-peer interaction. There are an estimated 6.5 million people similar to I throughout Vietnam. Again, here is how I sees, thinks, feels, and does. I found Netflix via social media and friends mentions. She classed Netflix at the first impression because it's international and premium standard. I considered a few factors of Netflix such as pricing and quality premium contents. I is a secondary portrait, causing harder barriers for Netflix to approach her and to convert her. I is more complex at the stage of consideration, evaluation, and lawyer. I does a lot of researches, asks a lot of questions from Google, social media, and her connections to just watch a movie. She relies on reviews, friends' recommendations, and her self-comparison at the stage of evaluation. I try best to find economic solutions such as sharing accounts, buy and share accounts, or just enjoy premium offers from the competition programs. So, we have done a headache work to describe a person that you want to approach. It's definitely indifferent from your efforts to try to understand your loved ones. It takes a plenty of time to make, but it's worth that. So, assume that you truly understand your audience. Let's explore how to make a strategy and a plan to achieve economic metrics. Making sure you still remember the customer journey that was already described, particularly for the two segments. In the digital marketing strategy, meaning planning a series of designed actions to drive success of business goal achievements. In this case, we map out the customer's journey and business journey into one, but specified with numbers and channels which are selected on the customer understanding task. In digital marketing strategy, we see the different strategic approach for two segments. It's not enough for a general approach, but also digital marketing concepts for both segments. should be tailored appropriately to the audience insights. The insight means that we produce a series of triggering contents that disrupts the noise surrounding our target audience life to drive their attention to us. In this practice, I skip this technique of making insights because I will tailor it in another topic. I just simplify it as a communication message in the next slide. This is a strategic digital marketing plan describing detailed activities and measures to achieve our goals. We see five parts of a plan, including communication message, activity, channel, measures, and budget. This masterpiece presents the overall planning of a marketing campaign throughout the year 2020 and strategically breaks into quarter activity to easier implement and manage. As mentioned earlier, we have different insights from two types of audience, so the message should be tailored in accordance to. The messages are flexible to change by targets, by real actions, by change in purpose, and by seasonal approach. Please assure your consistency during the adjustment from message to channels. Message is very important to justify the awareness efforts. At the first kick-off stage, we invest heavily in mass media and channels that cover the target audience attention. The channels should be selected from the audience journey as we already did as previously. Depending on each stage, we set different KPIs to drive the right focus on our campaign optimization. Please always keep in mind that don't stress yourself and mess your team with your series of unfocused metrics. The metrics should be the final outcomes of a combination work between customer journey and business features. In this practice, an example I do for the plan is to create a viral activation appearing with a peak at reach, try to cover all of target audience, then segmenting targeted audience who already engaged with the services to less effort to reach them, but instead then using remarketing tactics to convert them with a higher cost efficiency. After building up a master plan, a digital marketer should sit down with your agencies, your internal team, your vendors, or any involved stakeholders to think of excellent implementation ideas for each quarter and each month. For example, in quarter one, your business partners introduce you to a short film sponsorship exclusively displayed on YouTube and Vivo, where 70% of your target audience would be involved in watching. You consider it relevant to your brand image, your strategy, or build up awareness. Then you put it into your quarter one to discuss the benefits of this sponsorship in terms of brand visualization, brand awareness, meta values evaluation, and so on. Each month plays a specific role in the total quarter activity, so the month's metrics should be also focused and try to optimize at best. Also, based on insights, digital marketers produce more concepts for viral activation. such as holding a night outdoor movie in the horror movies week. In partnership with YouTube, Netflix creates a hub of short film premium creators that earn small short form video to offer busy people thinking of our secondary audience. She spends most of the time on Instagram. So Netflix partnered with Instagram to produce Netflix Art Week to display art form shortcuts via stories and Instagram TV. These events, created based on insights, are very favorite material to be leveraged on the right channels. The only purpose of these are to gain attention of the audience, then build the high interest inside of audience to drive them into the next stages. I am happy to summarize what you should keep in mind when you start thinking of a digital marketing campaign. Digital marketing is really tremendous to handle. Unlikely people assume digital marketing would speed on human interaction, automation, and right-away outcomes. The designation requires handlers to take account of designing a marketing strategy and digitize all of it to reach these economic objectives. I am quite sad when I meet a lot of business people that judge that marketers have no business-driven mindset. They assume that the marketer's scope work is just building aware advertisement, media relations, and influencer working with a lacking of ability to measure the ROI means return on investment in business context. So I do confirm that marketer or digital marketer is capable enough to drive a success contribution to business growth with its measurable activities. Furthermore, digital marketer is expert at finding audience insights, audience portraits by the talents of data analytics and data interpretation. Nowadays, with strong support of technology, audience portraits is more transparent, unlike we mostly did assumptions many years ago. Meta insights, creative concepts, and other activities are a series of second runners which come up after we complete insights. Finally, measurement is a very important task of a digital marketer. There is no impossibility of doing measurements. We should always find ways or methodologies to measure our investments. Please remember that in digital media, attribution of media channels should be well defined and creditable. Based on the full journey of your customers, try to arrange credits to each touchpoint. The fairness in measurement will draw you a bigger motivational picture. I hope you like it. Please bear in mind that my sharing is objective based on my own knowledge and experience. I am willing to share more practical training, such as make a competitive analysis, go-to-market strategy, make a actionable insight, set up the Google Ads, Facebook Ads, programmatic ads, or even using the Google Analytics in advance. Or I can train you how to do a SEO campaign, or even that I can guide a creative campaign to achieve your business challenge, and so on. So I am Perika, Head of Digital and Customer Experience. Thank you and enjoy your day.